Jacques, our entire crew, thrilled to have you with us as we look at the weather. It's postcard worthy at kickoff today here in Guadeloupe. 89 degrees. There is some chance, of course, of some showers. We hope that Mother Nature allows us to get through without too many issues. But clear skies for now, and of course a big game between these two here in Group A of League A. Time very much of the essence in both groups and really throughout the entirety of Concacaf Nations League play. League A Group A looks like this. Guadeloupe currently sitting in fourth. However, a victory for them today could put them right back in the mix for a top 2 spot and an advancement to the quarterfinals. On the other side of the coin from Martinique, a win pretty much essential at this part of the competition if they are to avoid relegation and have any chances of not only Gold Cup prelim qualification, but to stay in the mix for a top 2 spot. Well, 2 different trajectories really to get to League A for these 2 countries. Guadeloupe had to work really, really hard over the last 4 editions to get here. They were at one point in League C, and then for 2 iterations of the Nations League, they were in League B. But they finally have a first chance here in League A, trying to make the most of it this time around. And they've already picked up their first League A win. And of course, on top of that, they did have a defeat in the group stage as well at the hands of Costa Rica. But a win over Suriname last time out puts them right in the mix. It's been a little bit of a mixed bag for Martinique so far. A 3-1 defeat at Guatemala, but of course, it was a 2-2 draw last time out against Guyana. They do have that point that keeps them in the mix, but of course, they're gonna need a victory here logistically in order to have a pathway towards the top 2. We will step aside for now. We'll get the teams out in the procession in just a moment. Then the anthems, the lineups, and the kickoff in front of a good crowd here in Guadeloupe for this Concacaf Nations League match in League A, Group A.
On était là la dernière fois. Pourquoi on ne met pas là? La place, elle est vide là, on se remet là.
Both sets of players here exchanging pleasantries before this vitally important game in the Concacaf Nations League. And it's League A, Group A. Stade Zami in Guadeloupe. Guadeloupe are in green today. Martinique are going to be in their road reds. For those that have followed Guadeloupe in Nations League over the last few seasons, that is a bit of a change. Normally Guadeloupe are in red when they play here, but they've made the change, possibly to acquiesce their visitors today. In this all-important Group A encounter, Guadeloupe coming into the day sitting in fourth, just outside the relegation places, and just 1 point away from the top two. And Jocelyn Globa's side would love nothing more than to put some pressure on the likes of Costa Rica and Guatemala at the top of the table. The likes of Thierry Ambrose and Jordan Laborgna are going to be some players to watch today. Anthony Barron captains the side. The likes of Junior Seneville and Matthias Fayton will be players to look out for. No questions about that for the hosts in green today. Anthony Barron, the captain for Guadeloupe, and Brighton LeBeau, the captain for Martinique. The officials in the center. It is a Panamanian and Honduran officiating crew in Guadeloupe today, led by this man, Selvin Brown, who is our head official today. A friendly reminder as well that there is no VAR. Well, it's going to be a tough hill to climb for Martinique, but a win would give them a foothold on that climb up the mountain. Marc Collat's group has this 11, Carl Fabian, Jeremy Pourson-Clement, going to be some of the players to watch in the attack. LeBeau, again, captains the side, another player to look out for. Harold Voyer leads the back line. Yanis Clementia gets the start in goal for today's visitors. Again, these two teams have quite a bit of history, but they don't have a ton of history in the group stage of the Nations League. It's actually the first time today they've met at this stage of the competition. Of course, during the 2018-19 qualifying rounds, they met quite often. Martinique leads the all-time series with 10 victories to Guadeloupe's 3. There have been 4 additional draws in the history of this fixture. Guadeloupe trying to make it 2 wins in the group phase so far. Martinique need their first win very badly if they're to stay in line for avoiding relegation, but also pushing for promotion. And we are underway here in Guadeloupe. Martinique will be going from right to left, or I should say left to right, beg your pardon. Martinique are in red, Guadeloupe are in green. Just to be very, very clear, it's Guadeloupe going from right to left. They pin an early ball in behind, looking for Thierry Ambrose, who's, of course, been a big-time player for Guadeloupe in Nations Leagues past, but the ball fizzes past him, and it's an early goal kick from Martinique. Well, as you might imagine, all the teams in Group A will be in action today. This is the first of three. Of course, we'll see Suriname and group leaders Costa Rica in a few hours' time. For Guatemala, finish the day in Group A, taking on Guyana. Of course, Group B gave us plenty of drama yesterday. A draw that was really memorable between Cuba and Trinidad and Tobago. Big win for the Reggae Boys. And Nicaragua last night as well, 2-0 win. And Honduras were impressive as well, taking care of French Guiana, although French Guiana gave them a late run at it in the dying moments of that game. Could be a chance here for Martinique inside of 2 minutes, but it's cleared away. And it's a throw into the visitors on the near side. Joris Mutashi comes over to get it. Tried to get it to Michael Biron. Headed back in Biron's direction. And he's going to be dispossessed. That was Steve Solvet helping out. Handball appeals come in. And it's a free kick for Guadeloupe. Again, a win for either side could do them the world of good going into the final match days of the group, but a loss could prove to be very tough to come back from, especially for Martinique. Still sitting on just the 1 point and looking for their first victory in this group. If they stay on 1 point going to the final match day, they would have to get quite a bit of help elsewhere to avoid relegation down to League B. And for Martinique, they've become very accustomed to being in League A. They've actually been in League A in every iteration of the Concacaf Nations League. Had their best run in League A last time around, picking up 2 wins and just 1 defeat in 4 games. First ever relegation, if that were to happen to Martinique. We talked about it earlier, the meteoric rise of Guadeloupe. I'm not sure many teams have had as good of a surge, thanks to the Concacaf Nations League, then Guadeloupe. They were in League C in the first ever edition of the competition just before the pandemic. Then they were in League B for 2 seasons in a row and were very, very competitive both years. And then finally, last time around, 5 wins, just 1 defeat, and it's gotten them into League A action, where, of course, they have 1 victory and 1 defeat. Of course, they've had many memorable victories here at home in Guadeloupe, and they're hoping to add this one to the list. Ball's floated up to the other end. Second ball was up for grabs there. Byron is able to get it to the far side. Chance to cross this into the middle, and it is crossed, but not enough in it, I should say, to really trouble Guadeloupe in the end. Bryce Cognar gets the start and goal. And the host goalkeeper has no issues with that. Needed a bit more zip on that cross into the middle, and there wasn't really enough contact on it. And Barron is going to reset for Guadeloupe. Ooh, that bounces kindly nearly for Thierry Ambrose, but Harold Voyer and company, enough numbers behind the ball for Martinique to handle that situation. Tuki to the near side. not the best of touches in the end on the near side. It's given right back to Guadeloupe. Jerome Roussillon will take the throw. Santini. All the way back to Gravelot, another very important player. This Guadeloupe side, and then there's a tug in the midfield. Jonathan Varane concedes the free kick. Quickly clipped onto this near side. Good touches from Phaeton, and they tried to get it right back to him as he was surging towards the penalty area. Noah Cadieu unable to find him. That's a giveaway. And Thierry Ambrose tries to move into the penalty area. Looked like he might have been helped to the ground there. Referee says nothing doing. And Martinique tried to break up the other end, but it was broken up by the Guadeloupe back line. Oh, one or two Guadeloupe shouts for a foul there on the edge of the penalty area. But the referee did not acknowledge them. It looked like there was two arms around Thierry Ambrose, but maybe the referee didn't see a push or a tug down motion and allowed the play to continue. Martinique did have a brief chance there to counterattack, but it quickly was dealt with. That's going to be poked down the line. It's actually going to stay in play, allowing Guadeloupe to apply more pressure. Clearance goes out of play. The host will have a throw-in. Chris Moltenis had to chase that down for that man's side. Collard, who's now has to see his side defend a corner. Guadeloupe, well, maybe not the most textbook way of moving the ball down the field, but they'll take it. A set-piece opportunity for Matthias Phaeton. Phaeton's been another focal player in this Guadeloupe side. And he tries to pick somebody out. That was a critical header away. Moltenis off the line. And it's cleared out for a throw-in. No chances taken, but Guadeloupe quickly get the possession back. The ball bounces right back out of play. Guadeloupe will try a second time. Roussillon gets it on a back heel and moves into the penalty area as well. Ambrose with the best chance so far. But he puts his shot wide of the frame. Now Jerome Roussillon, this is why he's one of the best players Guadeloupe has to offer. The Union Berlin standout, puts it right where Thierry Ambrose was asking for it, but he was surrounded by four Martinique defenders and just tried to find the space and maybe wasn't paying as much attention to where the goal was and misses the target. To be fair, his shot likely would have been blocked anyway. And Martinique look for a response up the other end. There are numbers to work with here. It's well defended though by Guadeloupe. And they win a throw-in as well. Steve Solvat. That's brilliant defending from him. And of course, the Guadeloupe attacking pieces have been a big reason why they've been promoted twice in the last 3 seasons of Nations League play, but they're defensive unit has also had to do a really, really strong job, and Jocelyn Angloma's coaching job here has really been one to watch. It's been a brilliant rise to get to League A, and again, once you're in League A, you have a chance to play with the big boys, if you will, in the Concacaf Nations League finals. Of course, the US are back in the quarterfinals. Mexico are there as well. Panama are waiting in the wings, as are Canada. No surprises with those 4 teams already having their tickets booked. But Guadeloupe want to get a victory today to have a shot at trying to catch the likes of Guatemala and Costa Rica. To be fair, regardless of the result today for Guadeloupe, a win for Costa Rica, a win for Guatemala, will put them in pole position on the final day. But if Guadeloupe can win this, it'll only be by a point. And that is plenty of hope worth fighting for towards the top of the table. And of course, Suriname have a very big match. Again, they take on Costa Rica later on tonight. A victory for them, and it's a very different table going into the final games in the group. Rosillo fights to keep it alive. Phaeton up ahead, and I think he was trying to find Ambrose, but it never got anywhere near him. It's clipped ahead by Voyer, and then touched ahead even further. But the balance was lost as it goes towards Cagnar, and he'll reset for Guadeloupe in the end. That could have been a bit of a nervy moment. But again, the Guadeloupe defense, which has been a cornerstone to their recent Nations League success, comes up with the stop. Comes off the back of Varane. Benefits Guadeloupe in the end. It's on the near side, has some time and space, and Roussillon, not as lucky, has to play it to his back. Well, Thierry Ambrose has had the best chance of the game so far, but neither side has yet to really make the opposite goalkeeper work. If anything, for Guadeloupe in this group, they'd be in slightly better position if they had scored a few more goals to this point. They still have the lowest goal total in the group with just the 1. Of course, a game and a victory, that's all that matters. But they have also one of the better goals against ratios, just 3 goals conceded, which has been Martinique's problem in this group so far. They have the joint most goals conceded with 5, despite scoring 3 in their prior 2 games. What's the old saying? The attack sells the tickets, the defense wins the championships. And Martinique defensively have not quite been up to snuff, but they hope to change that today. As we mentioned earlier, opportunity still knocks for both teams. A win for Martinique, and they could finish the day in pole position to avoid relegation if the results go their way in the other 2 games. They will hope that Costa Rica and Guatemala can do them a little bit of a favor. But of course, the hopes of still getting towards the top 2 could also still be just about within Martinique's reach, but they'll have to hope for at least 1 draw in the later 2 games to have a chance, coupled, of course, with a victory here. And that's headed down into space. Biron again was just trying to maneuver a pass, but took a little bit too much time. Martinique are forced back because of that, and they fall right into Guadeloupe's pressure. It is a takeaway. Barron up ahead for Ambrose, and he couldn't find the return. Martinique get the ball back. Poisson Clement is fouled. It's going to be a free kick for Martinique. And they tried to take it quickly. I think the referee is going to make them have to settle it down and take it a second time. Ball might have been rolling there. Although, to be fair, Martinique didn't let the ball stop rolling on the second attempt, but referee let that go. And actually, on second examination there wasn't a ton of contact on the arm lift. Junior Seneville may have been hard done by there for Guadeloupe. But to be fair, I don't think the referee had the same angle on that our camera crew did. And again, it happened so quickly for the referees that sometimes those things can slide by. Have to give the referees benefits of the doubt sometimes in those situations. Ball's allowed to bounce in the midfield. Bornier, whose goal helped Guadeloupe win last time out, made that man happy at the time, but of course Jocelyn Angloma is a tough man to please. High standards for his group. It's one of the reasons that Guadeloupe is here in Ligue A. Now that ball up ahead is going to find his goalkeeper, Bryce Cognard, and it's quickly rolled back into the field of play. That ball is sent forward brilliantly onto the near side. Fades in into the penalty area. Real chance here for Guadeloupe, but the flag is up. Well, that's about as loud as the crowd has been to this point. Noah Caniou was right there to put a pass in or a shot, but his run to get there was scrutinized by the assistant referee. And the timing is what lets Guadeloupe down, but not by much. Roussillon. Fates it on the near side. Guadeloupe will be forced back for a recycle. Ooh, was that a challenge worthy of a foul? The referee says yes, it is. It's a Guadeloupe free kick. A good step defensively there. Sends the ball up to the near side. It bounces out of play. And again, Guadeloupe's defense have allowed the rest of the team to kind of get going a little bit in these opening 20 minutes. But Martinique have really not been able to do too much yet in the attack because of that as well. And again, really, besides the Thierry Ambrose attempt, neither side has had a big chance yet. But Guadeloupe's quick passing and quick thinking could get them in behind here. And the early ball from Ambrose. It's played back for Phaeton, who's unmarked, and his shot is saved. Follow-up is cleared away. Clemencia comes up with a huge save for Martinique. Phaeton was, well, had acres of space and time to work with in the penalty area, but Martinique bring it up the other end. Carl Fabian wins a free kick. Another look, second try at the cross. Phaeton could have made a phone call before he took the shot. But it's a good save. Yanis Clementia. Good work from Martinique to move it up the other end. And now they have a set piece to work with, trying to create their best chance so far. Byron and Fabian standing over it. Oh, and it goes right into the wall. Phaeton blocked it. And then it's a hopeful ball into the penalty area. Cognardi's there. And it ends up being a little bit of a waste for Martinique. Could have done much better with that. Byron's cross did not beat the wall. Solvets and company bring this forward. Santini onto the near side. Phaeton continues to be active. Lovely skill to tiptoe the line and keep it in play. And Phaeton keeps his balance as well, and the shot is saved again by Clementia. Now Matthias Phaeton, a one-man wrecking crew on this near side. Went all the way and beat everybody besides the goalkeeper. And Guadeloupe continue to build momentum in this first half. Phaeton again goes back to work, but the give and go doesn't come off. On the turn, Caniou off the layoff. Roussillon back across, touched away, and Guadeloupe will settle for a throw-in. All of a sudden, Martinique look more stretched at the back. Now the look at the Phaeton push and chase. Great balance to hold off the challenge from behind from Varane. But Clementia, huge save. And before Guadeloupe get the ball back into play, there's a player down for Martinique that needs some attention. I think it's the player Varane who tried to hold off Phaeton on this near side. There's already signals for a potential substitution here. Actually, I think the player is actually Harold Voyer for Martinique. It's one of the defenders who is in some discomfort here. Voyer. Oh, Voyer actually is on the right-hand part of your screen. He actually never got back to get into position and immediately had an issue with his left leg. That would be a huge early loss considering how much pressure Martinique had been under just in the last few possessions alone. Marc might have to make a change he didn't foresee. Guadeloupe had a little bit of a timeout there to coordinate things as well. They do have a throw-in to work with. I think the referee will hold it up. Now the throw-in is allowed to be taken. Roussillon. Oh, it was handled. It was handled by Caniou. That was a bit of a waste. It's a free kick from Martinique. Not the best control in the end, and oh, rare miscue from Guadeloupe in the attacking third. Allows Martinique to get the possession back. Ball's looped up the other end. Ambrose. And it was touched away from him. And it goes for a throw-in. Looks like Voyer was taken out, and from what we can tell, Jonathan Rivieres is the player who has come on. He's on the ball there. For Martinique, number 18. So tough to see Martinique have to make an early change. It could always have the chance to throw off a game for a team, but the best teams tend to make it work. We'll see if Martinique can handle a slight adjustment there. A little push and a chase. Varane was pushed. Free kick for the visitors. Ball is clipped down the far side. Back up the field, and well, another push, another free kick, but this time it goes Guadeloupe's way. Ball clipped down the far side. Guadeloupe will take that. They make up some ground and they get a throw-in to work with. Junior Seneville was the target. Santini. He's going to take the invitation to shoot. Cadieu tries to get a touch onto it. Fades in. Cadieu. Cross into the middle, headed away. Only as far as Phaeton. Russilio. He's going to be forced back after holding up the play. Solvet. Santini. It goes back to Solvet. It's going to be a reset for Guadeloupe. A more positive play from the hosts in search of what could be a vital opening goal. Ambrose, well, that was ambitious. It was also well wide. Well, if he had scored that, might have been the goal of the tournament to this point, but that's the risk that you take. Although actually took a deflection. Referee saw a nick on the way through. So not all lost from that. It's going to be a corner. Guadeloupe have players right near the goal line here. Clementia. And it basically sent right to him, and he was able to make the catch. And a quick outlet. Byron up the other end from Martinique. Some numbers to work with, but Guadeloupe have enough numbers behind the ball to deal with it. Phaeton. Trying to spin past, although he's dispossessed, and then wins it back, but he did commit a foul to get to the ball. And it's a free kick. Well, half an hour gone here in Guadeloupe. Can Martinique create their first notable chance? They're gonna get a free kick on that little spinning attempt to get past the challenge. It was a foul in the process here. Oh, there was a hold as well. Orson Clement not allowed to continue on. Senneville's challenge. Martinique have something to work with here. From the free kick, oh, it's actually going to be more of a shot than a cross. And it bounces out of play. Well, Marc Collard is not going to be happy with the 2 set-piece opportunities his side has had. Jocelyn Ngloma's side have been let off the hook from those 2 set-piece opportunities. Both of them did not come off as intended. And a game with this much on the line, especially as the road side, in a game like this, Martinique have got to take more of an advantage of those set-piece chances. Jerome Roussillon to take the throw. On the edge of the penalty area, Martinique are able to clear it. Lebeau looks to lead them up the other end. Good ball onto this near side. Nicole Byron, essentially, Martinique get their chance. But it's skied over the top by Carl Fabian. Now that was a real opportunity. Not sure if Fabian maybe rushed this a little bit or felt some of the pressure, but he cuts inside beautifully. Oh, and there was still a defender in front of him as he tried to lift it over the top, but he puts too much on it. And there's no chance to find the back of the net from that angle. Unless he got a deflection on it, really. It was always gonna keep on rising. Ball's lifted onto the near side now. Matthias Phaeton continues to be a player that Guadeloupe have been looking towards for creativity. His cross is going to be blocked away. It was nearly a second opportunity, but Martinique handles the situation. Fabian looks to run it up the other end, but it's very nicely defended. Andrew Gravelon snuffs it out. Phaeton up ahead. Roussillon back across. Took a deflection, but no handball, says the referee on either side. Fabian. Byron played it centrally. He was helped along by Varane, but Guadeloupe have it back. And they play a lovely ball through the Martinique midfield as well. Phaeton on the near side. This time Phaeton is stopped, but Guadeloupe still get the throw. And from the throw-in, maybe a chance to turn and, well, lay off a pass for a shot. Clemencia is able to handle. Borgna was able to unleash an effort. Clemencia handles it rather comfortably in the end. He's had a couple of important stops. 10 minutes plus stoppage time to go in the half. had a brief gander there, of course off screen, at the live table. A point, and still with 2 games to go in the day, it should be mentioned. Would put Guadeloupe for now up into 3rd position, and Martinique would be up into 5th. But again, there's huge opportunities later on tonight for Costa Rica, for Guatemala, for Suriname and Guyana to change that. That's why a victory, really, for both teams is essential. Any dropped points and the respective goals for these 2 countries in this group could take a huge hit. And of course, if especially Martinique are not able to get anything out of this match, that would essentially put them on the chopping block as far as the top 2 are concerned, and then they'd have to try and get some help on the final few match days, if you will, final few matches really in the group, if they're able to avoid relegation down to League B, which again would be a big disappointment for them. Especially for a side that made a positive mark at the last Gold Cup and want to be a part of those kind of big tournaments moving forward. Phaeton continues to tiptoe the touchline, and he wins a corner. That's as if there's a force field on the line when he dribbles past it. He's able to keep the ball in play, keep the balance, and keep the attack moving forward. Difficult skill. But again, he finds the space, he slivers past one, nearly past another. He's able to win a corner. But now can he pick someone out? That's gonna be out of play, too much air underneath it. And it was a good touch to try and keep it alive, but the ball had already crossed over the end line. That's a takeaway. Guadeloupe get the possession back. Both teams in search of what would be a huge goal, whichever country can score it. Point of the attack was switched onto the near side, and Phaeton, we talked about how great he's been today. That's a rare miscued touch from him. Doesn't happen very often. Rapnuil. LeBeau, forced to go back. Clipped onto the near side. Fabian, good touch. Fabian's cross goes towards the back stick, and it was chested down. Recognar, that could have been a little bit of a tough scenario, but the goalkeeper was ready for it. And it allows Guadeloupe to get back in possession. And a pullback there on Ambrose gives Guadeloupe a free kick. Lovely ball through the lines there. Thierry Ambrose. And still! Saved by Clementia. Oh, that's what Thierry Ambrose is capable of. Great composure to find space for the shot. But it was a good save from the goalkeeper. Not one, but two defenders trying to get in the way. I think a third maybe even tried to get a touch onto that. Yeah, there was three defenders, including the substitute Rivieres. And Ambrose got it past all three of them, but couldn't get it past the goalkeeper. That might have been the best quality chance we've seen to this point. Certainly up there. And Martinique nearly slithered their way through. Up the other end, Brighton LeBeau is in a decent area, but could not control the pass. Oh, and now a takeaway here. Oh, but there was no communication on the pass upfield by Byron, and Martinique let an opportunity slip. Manduki, I think, was the player who actually had a chance there to find himself one-on-one with the goalkeeper, but he didn't expect his teammate, Byron, to win the ball back. And then there was no communication on the pass. And again, to be fair, Guadeloupe not just let off the hook, but Martinique could not take advantage. Well, it just goes to show you never know when an opportunity in a game like this is going to be presented to you. You have to be ready, just in case. Ambrose tried to find Roussillon, but Roussillon was pointing to the assistant as if to say, well, why'd you pass it to me? I was in an offside position. And Guadeloupe also with a bit of a missed chance there. Well, 2 minutes left for one of those two coaches to see their team grab an important lead here. That was some good back and forth passing, but Port Saint Clement is dispossessed. It's clipped up ahead towards Ambrose. Played up ahead towards LeBeau, the captain from Martinique, and we're getting closer to finding out how much stoppage time there's going to be at the end of the half. Going to go right back to Guadeloupe on the near side. Martinique had maybe one or two chances of note in this first half. Guadeloupe by far have had the better opportunities, but no one has yet to find that huge moment yet. Rivieres plays it for Varane. Fourth official is just about ready with the amount of stoppage time at the end of the half. 2 minutes is the answer. Still time for maybe one more big opportunity. That's a good cut in field. Tachi was just trying to slither through himself, and then, well, the ball's going to be sent well out of play. Good stop by the ball boy, but it's a goal kick. final seconds of this first half. It's Martinique in possession. Carson Clement trying to find space for a cross. Varane does find space for a cross. It's Kylie Mutashe. He's forced towards this near sideline, and Guadeloupe do push this upfield. About 20 seconds for them to create something out of this. Ambrose is bundled over. That's going to be a yellow card, I believe, for Jonathan Varane. And the first booking of the match could be the last act of the half. And I believe that is the outcome. We'll take one more look at it. A bit clumsy in the end from Varane. It was mostly the push in the back. And that is the last major moment of the first half. Good stuff so far from Guadeloupe on the whole, but missed chances for both teams really ruled the half in a game that both teams realistically have to win to not just avoid relegation, but to push towards the top two spots in Group A. Halftime here, it is Guadeloupe 0, Martinique 0.
Que prévu. Elle n'était pas obligatoirement construite, je veux voir. Il va arriver, moi.
halftime here in Guadeloupe. You know what that means? Halftime highlights between Guadeloupe and Martinique. Sean St. Jacques, our entire crew, happy to have you with us for our continuing coverage of this Concacaf Nations League window, one with a lot of importance on pretty much every country playing in it. And this game is no exception. Both teams really could use a victory, and well, Guadeloupe had the better of the first half. Chances for the likes of Thierry Ambrose and Jerome Roussillon, who had a great run here. He was big in the attack and in the defense, one of the cornerstone pieces of this Jocelyn Angloma side. This is one of the better chances of the half. Phaeton shot parried away by Yanis Clementia, who made some huge stops, I must say, for Martinique to keep them on level terms with 45 big minutes still to play. Phaeton kind of stole the show at times. Some great skill to keep his balance amongst a challenge there. And again, his shot was parried away by Clementia. With the angle against him, I must say. But the goalkeeper still needed to make the stop, although it did nearly come back out for a second chance. This was Martinique's really only big opportunity of the half. Carl Fabian, good cutback to get past the first challenge, but he was impeded on the second one and just sent the shot looping over the top. And then Thierry Ambrose, cutting it back not once but twice, finds the angle for the shot. But again, Clementia pretty comfortable in the end on the save, diving down to his left-hand side. So 0-0 at the half as we look at the halftime stats. And well, Guadeloupe had a lot of chances and a lot of chances on target as well. Just a couple of shots for Martinique to speak of. The big one was from Fabian, and of course, no shots on target. Huge second half still to come here in Guadeloupe. 0-0 at the half. We'll step aside for a moment here in Guadeloupe.
Est-ce qu'il y a des supporters de la Martinique? Est-ce qu'il y a des supporters de la Guadeloupe? Est-ce qu'il y a des supporters de la Guadeloupe?
About to get the second half started here in Guadeloupe. Teams, of course, will switch sides over the second 45. Martinique are in red. They'll be going from right to left, and Guadeloupe are in their home greens today. Just awaiting the whistle of Salvin Brown, and on cue, he gets the second half started here in Guadeloupe. Again, Sean St. Jacques, our entire crew, happy to have you with us. 0-0 is the score in this all-important League A, Group A fixture in the Concacaf Nations League. Both teams could really use a victory here to grab an important 3 points for their hopes of at least avoiding relegation or maybe even pushing higher up the table. Martinique had a sliver of a chance there. Throw. And again, in the live table right now, a point for each side would give Guadeloupe third position in the group with still 2 games to go later on tonight. And Martinique would jump up from 6th to 5th. But of course, as we mentioned earlier, there's 3 games in Group A throughout the day. We'll have Suriname and Costa Rica later on tonight, and then Guyana against Guatemala. A whistle will stop the play there. It's going to be headed down, trying to find Borgna, who's not able to get to that. But again, as we saw a lot in the first half, doesn't take Guadeloupe long to get the ball back and move it forward. Fateson out wide. He tries again to maneuver into some space, and he's going to win a corner. Well, another Guadeloupe opportunity, this time from a set piece. Again, if you're just joining us, Guadeloupe have had the better of the game, but no goals yet. This could come out for an opportunity, but it's touched away by Pourcent Clement, and Martinique could have a chance to move some numbers forward here. Referee plays advantage. Michael Biron's gonna go all the way, but it's saved. Rebound is headed off the line. Handball appeals come in from Martinique. Referee says it was off the head. It's a corner. Well, that is by far the best chance we've seen from either side, and it's a heroic goal line clearance, I believe, by Jerome Roussillon. He made the run all the way back, and he's the one who heads it off the line to save Guadeloupe. And Roussillon may have paid a bit of a price for it along the way. Well, to give you the full picture, Jerome Roussillon had to chase Byron all the way back just to try to stop him from getting the shot away. Of course, Byron did get the shot off. Cognard made a huge save, and Roussillon just happened to be right where he needed to be to head away the follow-up attempt by Cyril Mandauki. My goodness. The question now is Roussillon able to continue? I'll have to wait to find out. Martinique will get the corner in the meantime. It's sent right back in, and then it's laid off. And it's not the best of shots from poor Saint Clement. It soars out of play. And Roussillon now trots back on. We'll have to keep an eye on him. That was a possible head injury, of course. Took the brunt of that shot. Well, Jocelyn Gloma and his medical staff are going to have to keep a close eye on him as things move ahead. What a huge goal line clearance that was for Guadeloupe. Coming together there, and Martinique get another free kick. Lebeau this time needs a moment. Marc getting off to a good start in this second half as the foul is committed. Solvet following through. Well, it's been a pretty entertaining first 5 minutes at the start of this second half. Martinique had not created anywhere near as good of a chance as the one they just had a moment ago, but my goodness, Roussillon comes up with a huge interference on the line to get it out of trouble. But could that be the spark to give Martinique more and more attacking confidence? Now, Lebeau is still being looked after for Martinique on the near side. Sent ahead by Clementia. Well, not the best of headers there. It actually awards Martinique a throw high up the field, and they can get some numbers forward. Varane is dispossessed. Could be a chance for Guadeloupe up the other end. Near side, Caniou. Back across, it's flicked on. Still a chance to take the shot on, and maybe too much time taken, and then off a ricochet, Guadeloupe were looking for a handball. Oh, and I think the referee has given it here. It's gonna be a free kick for the hosts. Another wild sequence there. Jordan Laborgna, of course, scored the winner for Guadeloupe in a prior group stage match. It's Guadeloupe's only win so far. That was a 1-0 win over Suriname back in September. But he took too much time to make up his mind, and then Martinique, I'm not sure they could have avoided it, but an arm in an unnatural position has led to a free kick being awarded. And another good chance for Guadeloupe. Nathaniel Santini stands over it. Well, actually, two players for Guadeloupe are interested in this. 4 men in the Martinique wall. And Santini hits it right into the wall. Phaeton was the other player interested. Martinique clear it, and they could have some numbers to counterattack with here. Poor Saint Clement making a good run into the penalty area. He's second best to the ball in the end. It's really well recovered and defended by Guadeloupe, and it's a goal kick up the other end. Well, Cognar will send some of the Guadeloupe players forward. Well, in the end, the two goalkeepers end up playing a bit of pass to each other. Camintia up ahead. Oh, that was a lovely touch to find Byron. Pour Saint-Clement assesses the scene. Overlapping run of Nuil. We tried to cross it. Blocked away. Seneville on the cover. And not the best of touches from Pour Saint-Clement, and the attack fizzles out. Two good defensive interventions from Junior Seneville on the defensive cover for Guadeloupe. Now, the longer this game goes without a goal, the more it could feel like that one goal could be enough to win this. So much on the line here for both teams. Neither can really afford a defeat, even drop points, considering that this is still the first game of the day in the group. Could also prove to be a very tough pill to swallow. But a victory, if someone can grab 3 points, then a lot could still be in play for whoever gets it. Especially when you look at where Guadeloupe currently sit in the table. They can grab the goal to win it. And all of a sudden, they top the group going into our final 2 games of the day. And the likes of Costa Rica and Guatemala will be chasing after them. Well, that's a good turn. A shirt pull. And the shot comes up short by Lebeau. I wonder if the shirt pull impacted the shot. Referee did not blow the whistle. Brighton Lebeau was in a really strong position there. The other, of course, outcome of that could be that Selvin Brown maybe didn't have the angle to see that there was a shirt pull. That has to be remembered sometimes. If he had, I do wonder if our Honduran referee would have given something there. Now it's back in Martinique possession. Nearly given away. Goes back for the substitute Rivieras. That was a first half change for Martinique. Harold Voyer had a left leg issue based on what we saw. Unfortunately could not continue from Marc Collat's side. Seneville. Great precision on the pass, finds Thierry Ambrose. Ambrose lays it off, and Cadieu, rare miscued touch, and Martinique get the ball back, and then not the best of clearances from Gravelon. And Byron is able to bring it up the other end. Good layoff as well, and Martinique are in. But it's a critical last-ditch block that sends it out for a corner. Andrew Gravelon ends up thwarting Jeremy Pour Saint-Clement. Again, it was a bit of a hopeful ball forward, but it bounced Martinique's way. Great layoff. And the first touch was a solid touch as well, but a great recovery challenge. Gravelon doing his best Jerome Rosillion impression. Another critical defensive intervention from the hosts. But Martinique have a corner upcoming. And the corner actually hits Seneville, who, well, referee's not going to blow his whistle for the defender being within 10 yards. I don't think he is, to be fair. Don't see that happen very often. And then it does bounce for Martinique at the back, stick for Varane, who sends it over the top. Well, Jonathan Varane's had one or two opportunities as well. There's a player down for Guadeloupe at the moment. Referee is also trying to wave on the medical staff for the host to take a look. Might be Steve Solvet, and it is Steve Solvet, who is down and in need of assistance here for Guadeloupe as we approach the hour mark. I'll give credit to Martinique. They clearly made some halftime adjustments. They didn't really have much to do in the attack. Couldn't create much at all, frankly. Just the one chance from Carl Fabian through 45 minutes. But it's been a completely different story in the second half. Well, here's the last sequence with Solvet. There actually wasn't a ton of contact there. Could have been from something else. Regardless, it was a quick little debrief there from the medical staff, and Solvet will come off and, you would think, come back on in short order, but we'll have to wait and see on that. Although, as I say that, Ange Plumane is getting set to enter here. Well, he's come up with some huge goals in the Concacaf Nations League, but we'll await on Guadeloupe change or changes to wait and see on that. It doesn't look like Plumane's the only player getting readied here. Solvet has not been allowed back on yet. The other player that looks like he's getting ready here is Moko Zoran. Oh, and Junior Seneville has been booked here. Well, here come the changes. 3 in total. Ange Plumane will come on. Solvet is done. Tyrek Arconte is going to enter. That is going to be the end of the day for Thierry Ambrose. Moko Zoran is also on, and Seneville, who was just booked a second ago, is now off. First 3 changes for Guadeloupe in this game, hoping can help them push them over the top. Plumane has had some huge moments in a Guadeloupe shirt. There's the reason Seneville was yellow carded before being swiftly taken out. Another attempt from Martinique to try to get it into the penalty area. It's cleared out. The visitors keep possession. Guadeloupe still have 2 changes remaining. Martinique have not made any second half changes, but made just 1 in the first half, so they have 4 left. Gravilon. That was up ahead. Oh, it's going to fall kindly here for Ange Plumane. Plays it to the near side, Arconte. Plumane helps it along. Big chance! Oh, big save! Clemencia comes up with a huge stop. I think it was Phaeton who ended up taking on the shot, and my goodness, how important could that save turn out to be for Martinique's chances? Plumane, oh, it's a clever touch. Oh, and the shot was actually taken on Libornia, who's already scored a huge goal in this group stage already for Guadeloupe. And then from the corner, it is cleared away. Ange Plumane goes right back to work. We know about his skill and effort. And Guadeloupe win the ball back. Cadieux out to the far side. Good layoff, Plumane. It's still a chance. And again, Jordan Laborgna sends it over the top. After a good flurry from Martinique, it's a strong response from Guadeloupe, just no end product. Couldn't get the finishing touches on the shot. It's going to trickle out a play on the far side again. Guadeloupe trying to go right back after Martinique. For the first of 3 games here in the Nations League, Ligue A, Group A. So we have Guatemala and Guyana to come, Costa Rica, Suriname also meeting later on tonight. Still a big chunk of the game left here, and that's going to be a high boot. A Martinique free kick. Near side, good cutback initially there. Nothing comes of it. Zoran tried to make something happen, and Martinique have a chance to break up the other end here. It's a good slide through. Great ball across! Oh, touched away, and it's going to be a goal kick. Byron came right back into the middle, and it's Santini's turn to come up with a huge stop for Guadeloupe defensively. Ball played back across. Ooh, there was a hint of a Guadeloupe touch in there. Maybe should have been a corner. Goal kick is the decision after Guadeloupe again are able to get back in time to make an intervention. Byron took a tough hit there between 2 challenges. Not the best of restarts there from the free kick. Martinique, luckily, from their standpoint, didn't give the ball away in a really vulnerable position. That scooped over the top and then cleared away before he could get to Zoran. Zoran helps it further down the line. It gets touched out of play again. It'll be a Martinique throw. Varane out wide. Another chance here for Martinique. Fabian across! Oh! Another vital touch from Guadeloupe's back line. Manduque, I think, was the closest one to it for Martinique. And it's sent back into the penalty area. Cognar is able to make the catch. That'll take us down to the final 20 minutes, plus stoppage time. Now the look, it was Carl Fabian's cross. And again, Guadeloupe do just about enough. Now can they get going in the attack with Plumain? Plumain glides past two challenges and sends it out to the far side. Into the middle. It was intended, I think, for Arconte. It goes out for a Martinique throw. The crowd here continues to provide a wonderful atmosphere and soundtrack to this game. It is becoming more and more edge-of-your-seat stuff down the stretch here. Said earlier, the longer it goes goalless, the more likely that one goal could decide it. And Guadeloupe will have a throw-in, and they take it quickly. Cadieu, was that handled? He plays it across. Clementia is able to dive on top of it. Well, there was a hint of handball in there. Well, there was no handball. Martinique were just asking the question. And the goalkeeper, luckily for them, was the one who had the answer on the cross into the middle. Does look like that Martinique are getting a change ready. I think it was Johnny Marajo is getting set to come on. And not just that, there's going to be two changes for Martinique. Lucas Arden is going to come on. Varane is off. Marajo is going to come on. And Fabian is also going to exit. So a double swap with 18 minutes to go. Now Lucas Ardenne is more of a defensive change, I would say. But certainly Marajo could come on and be a goal-scoring difference maker, as Martinique will get a chance to reset the possession on the far side with an outlet ball. Good step defensively. Santini gets Guadeloupe back on the front foot, and it's sent in behind here. Arconte, oh, he nearly slipped it through. Clemencia was able to make the block. If it had gotten past him, there was a chance that could have gone in. Marajo up the other end. His legs are fresh, but his touch is a bit rusty. It's a throw-in for Guadeloupe. again, it's won back by Guadeloupe. Phaeton trying to glide his way through. He stays with it. Trying to wrestle his way forward. Guadeloupe are saying there should have been a free kick in there. They're going to get the throw in instead. Oh, was there a foul there? Oh, referee looked to the assistant. The assistant told Phaeton to get up. No foul. But it is a giveaway. Roussillon continues to move forward. Clean challenge from the substitute Ardennais. Plumain on the far side. Plumain tries to get back onto it. Martinique again get the possession. They couldn't clear it definitively, I should say. And it's looped over the top. Roussillon had his shot blocked. Martinique again tried to clear, unsuccessfully. It's crossed into the middle, and it's too tall for anyone to get to it. Matthias Phaeton forced to reset. Down to 15 minutes plus stoppage time left. Phaeton has his cross blocked. It's going to bounce out of play. And it looks like Guadeloupe will have another corner upcoming. Is someone going to find that critical moment? It's another important moment in the game for both teams. A queue of Guadeloupe players just to the left of the penalty spot. That's where the ball goes, maybe a little bit further than that. Roussillon resets. Barron. It's bent towards the penalty area, but it's headed away. Now Martinique have a chance to maybe move this up the other end. Good tussle. And it's last. Oh, the referee brings it back for a free kick. Referee was actually trying to give Martinique an advantage there. It didn't come to pass. So for the initial foul, it's brought back. Ball is sent into the penalty area. Too close to Bryce Cognar. Now, there was a hopeful service into the penalty area, and it really didn't give Guadeloupe too much to worry about. Jonas Mutashi not able to pick anybody out. Again, just a reminder, if it stays like this, Guadeloupe would move up to third for now. Martinique up to fifth for the time being. They would be vulnerable to returning to where they began, pending the results later tonight. That's why a goal could mean so much for whoever can score it. Guadeloupe have another free kick. A little push in the back there by Jerome Roussillon. The visitors get a free kick. The sun is starting to set a little bit here. Guadeloupe, it's been a wonderful day for the beautiful game. But someone find a late moment to celebrate here at the end. One that could give whoever scores it a gigantic boost in the group. And if Martinique could score, it'd be in a four-way tie. Actually, it'd be a three-way tie, I should say, for first place on 4 points. If Guadeloupe do get the goal and win, they'd be in first all by themselves. With a couple of results going their way elsewhere, they might actually have a chance to stay there as well by the end of the night. But they're on the back foot here. And they're going to concede a throw-in as well. Jeremy Pourson-Clement doing good work. Now a player down for Guadeloupe is going to lead to an injury stoppage here. Referee trying to get the attention of the Guadeloupe medical staff. It's going to lead to both teams getting an impromptu timeout, if you will, to get some refreshments and to maybe reset for the final 10 minutes plus stoppage time. It's an important part of the game for both teams, really, because it's still up for grabs. These fans still have a chance to have some wild celebrations if a goal goes in. Right off the bat, just give the fans credit. They have been providing us a wonderful bit of atmosphere throughout the entirety of the 90 minutes. Even during the halftime, they were continuing to provide us with the soundtrack. It's Martinique who have the throw-in. Down to the final 9 minutes. And Martinique are going to get a shot away here. Yes, they are. But it's saved by Cognard. That was Marajo, the substitute. His first major involvement. He gets a good shot away, but easy enough in the end for Bryce Cognard. When called upon, he has made the big stops. It's like Tariq Cavallon and Patrick Berner are getting set to come on for Martinique. And Vikash Teal is getting set to come on for Guadeloupe. So Till for Guadeloupe and a double change for Martinique, and I believe that will exhaust all but one change combined between the two teams. And Raciliano has come up with a huge block today. He is done. Teal will take his place, and Rafael Mirval is the other player that's trying to get on here for Guadeloupe. Bournier is going to take his leave here. So Mirval is on. Guadeloupe changes are done. Now the Martinique alterations. Patrick Berner is coming on. Cavallon is also going to enter. Tachi is the first player to come out. Jeremy Pourson-Clement is the other. So there are the two changes. Pourson-Clement is off, Mutachi is off. Cavallon and Berner are on for Martinique. So again, two changes each. And we confirm now that that is the end of substitutions for both sides. Both have made 5 substitutions already. So both coaches have done pretty much all they could do. Now can the players deliver? Well, it would be in the DNA of Concacaf Nations League to have a late twist. We'll see if it can be conjured up. That was a poor cross into the middle, and it's going to go out of play and go back to Guadeloupe in possession. Martinique let that bounce a couple of times in behind before clearing that away. That can always be a dangerous situation. Plumane. Always tough to deal with the ball at his feet, and he does manage to move it upfield. Till out to the far side, and it's going to bounce out of play. And it goes right back to Martinique. Well, both teams all of a sudden struggling to put some passes together here. That's a better passage from Martinique. Morajo is in the middle. It could fall for a chance here. Oh, it's in! It's in! Captain's goal from Brighton LeBeau has given Martinique the lead with 4 minutes left. It's a goal that could go a long way to keeping Martinique in Ligue A at the very least. We told you there could be late drama. The late twist goes Martinique's way. Captain's orders for the visitors. Brighton LeBeau just sliding it through. And Cognard in traffic could not keep it out for Guadeloupe. Well, he's made some big stops today. Maybe could have done a little bit better. But Martinique aren't worried one bit about that. The captain has come through. And Martinique have a priceless lead to hold on to over the last 4 minutes. Brighton LeBeau could end up being Martinique's hero. Quickly up the other end, Guadeloupe don't waste any time. They have a corner. We'll get to the table in a second. Guadeloupe have a chance to respond. Oh, and it was headed over the top. And it ends up being a goal kick. Well, with that goal, Martinique jumps up from where they began the day in 6th all the way up to 3rd. And they're now level on points with Costa Rica and Guatemala, who again, play later on tonight in 2 separate games. Guadeloupe would drop into 5th position, which is on the chopping block for relegation. And it could get even worse for them if the team that's just ahead of them, Suriname, can get a result later on tonight. How quickly things can totally change. Guadeloupe still have time to try and save themselves a point. We were talking so long for how Martinique could be on the cutting room floor in Ligue A. Well, they've just given themselves a huge bit of a burst here. And now Morajo is in behind. LeBeau leaves it. Now in Byron, oh, you can tell by his reaction, they could have done a little bit more there. but he sends it out of play. LeBeau was actually in a better position to make that work. Guadeloupe looked to bring it up the other end. Plumane, he's been a huge savior for Guadeloupe at times. Could he be someone to help rescue this? Well, the pass in the end goes out of play and goes back to Martinique, and now they're not going to be in any rush. From the throw-in. Battle continues. Plumane can't get there. And Martinique have the possession. Plumane is slow to get up. We're now into the 90th minute. Remember, no substitutions left for either side. So Ange Plumane is going to have to shake this one off. And I think the ball was kicked away, you would think, by Martinique. So the referee needs to get the ball back. This was the challenge. Well, there really wasn't much contact, was there? And then Martinique, a little bit of the arts of time wasting coming into play here. Plumane quickly gets it back to the goalkeeper, so Guadeloupe can have a chance of getting this back. "90 minutes are up, but there's still a hefty chunk of stoppage time remaining. 5 minutes, to be exact. More than enough time for something to change. It's a Guadeloupe throw. They have 5 minutes, Guadeloupe, to save themselves something and keep themselves out of the relegation zone. That's a takeaway. It's a clean takeaway. Till makes the run up ahead. Fated with the shot. And it's saved by Clemencia. Oh, Phaeton did have a couple of teammates to aim at. He elected to shoot. Goalkeeper comes up with the stop. Down to 4 minutes left. Marajo gives the chase. It's going to go out of play. Right where Martinique wants it. There's your hero at the moment, LeBeau. And he is able to push this up ahead. Do Martinique try to go for the jugular? Well, neither one thing nor the other. In the end, they give it away. Plumane, not the best of touches. And it allows Martinique to take more valuable seconds off the clock. Referee wants them to get on with it, but again, Martinique are not going to be in any rush. Byron trying to move it up ahead. It's cut out. Chance to move this forward for Guadeloupe. Santini. Time and space. Santini tries to cut it back. He's dispossessed. And the follow-up challenge allows Martinique to move the ball forward again. LeBeau was asking for it. More time taken off the clock. And Martinique are already halfway home as far as the 5 added minutes are concerned. Reverse ball for Brighton LeBeau. He keeps it in. Great touches. Uses some clock, but cannot win the throw. Time very much now running out for Guadeloupe. Oh, and it's a giveaway by Plumane. Plumane wins it back. Very quickly makes up for his own mistake. Cadieux misplaces his pass. He follows up to try to make it up, but he gives up the throw-in with under 2 minutes left. Now, we talked about how Martinique were able to turn things around in this second half, and to be fair, it still looked like a goal was far off for them. But up stepped the captain, and Brighton LeBeau has them on the verge of a really famous win. But can Guadeloupe recover it in stoppage time here? It's a throw-in for Guadeloupe. They take it right away. Barron sends it off of a Martinique defender. And that is going to leave Guadeloupe with 1 minute remaining. If it's going to happen for the hosts, it's going to have to happen right now. Barron's throw into the middle. Looking for Plumain. Oh, it's going to come down for an opportunity here. The volley is going to land on the roof of the net, and it's a goal kick. Tyreek Arconte with maybe the last big chance of the night. Referee imploring Martinique to get the ball back into play here. Hasn't given a yellow card, though, for time wasting, the center official. Guadeloupe have to do pretty much the unthinkable here. They have to get it from this position up the field and score. And Martinique keep it right where they want it at this end. Guadeloupe have time to take the throw in. How much more time will they have? 5 minutes are up. It's actually going to be a free kick for Guadeloupe. Plumain will get a chance to try to put this into the penalty area. And this will likely be Guadeloupe's last chance. They got to get this up the field. It's clipped into the penalty area, and the goalkeeper, Clementia, fittingly, makes the catch. Is that to be the last moment? It is the last moment. Full time in Guadeloupe. A massive victory for Martinique. They win it by 1-0. The captain, Brighton LeBeau, is the hero. And Martinique jump from bottom of the table into third position. And they have the inside track at avoiding relegation back to League B. And they'll stay in with an opportunity to push towards the top of the table. Can't overstate how important this win is for Martinique tonight. It's also a devastating blow for Guadeloupe. They'll still have a chance to avoid relegation, but it's out of their hands going into their final game in the group. We'll step aside for a moment. We'll hear from a player each before highlights and stats to wrap things up. It's a 1-0 Martinique win here in Guadeloupe.
check, 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 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, check, 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 check. Probando, probando, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, probando, canal 2, cámara 1, canal 2, cámara 5. Canal 2, cámara 5. Canal 2, cámara 5, canal 2, cámara 5. Canal 2, cámara 5. El canal 2, cámara 5. Canal 2, cámara 5.
Jocelyn, Angloma, on imagine que c'est une grosse déception cette défaite en fin de match.
Ouais, c'est une déception, mais
Jocelyn Angloma, on imagine c'est une grosse déception cette défaite en fin de match.
oui, grosse déception parce que nous, on avait fait pas mal de choses pour pouvoir gagner ce match, pour pouvoir marquer ce but. Bon, à l'arrivée, on prend ce but à la fin, ça nous plombe un peu tout. Bon, compliqué après pour revenir. Mais je pense que les garçons se sont donnés à fond pour pouvoir gagner à tout prix, mais malheureusement, ça n'a pas été en notre faveur ce soir.
Il va falloir effacer vite la déception. Dans 3 jours, il y a un déplacement là-bas. Qu'est-ce qu'il va falloir tout simplement modifier?
Bon, modifier, c'est justement récupérer pour pouvoir aller faire un résultat là-bas. Et le résultat, ce serait de gagner. Parce qu'il faut garder foi en soi, être positif pour pouvoir faire le résultat qui nous permettra de rester déjà en Ligue A.
Good. Tu veux un joueur à nous ou Labo? Labo? Ouais. Comme tu veux. Tonton. Voilà, tu peux m'amener Andrew juste qu'il reste par là. Brighton, on imagine que c'est une grosse satisfaction de venir gagner chez le rival guadeloupéen.
Oui, clairement. En plus, on était en déficit de points. Il fallait absolument cette victoire et venir la chercher ici, c'est très bien parce que c'était très dur.
On a l'impression que vous êtes toujours en réussite contre la Guadeloupe.
En réussite, mais écoutez, on va dire que c'est un match des îles Sœurs qui nous réussit. Et aujourd'hui, je pense qu'avec le mental, on a su répondre présent.
Rendez-vous dans 4 jours pour essayer de refaire la même à domicile?
Oui, exactement. Surtout avec la situation en Martinique. On a à cœur de mettre un petit peu de lumière sur notre île pour essayer d'arranger les choses. Et si ça passe par une victoire comme ce soir, ça serait parfait.
Il y a le coach. Coach, ouais. Et Andrew Gravillon, il est où? Ouais. Monsieur Collard, Marc. Andrew, on imagine que c'est une grosse déception de perdre comme ça dans les derniers instants.
Ouais, c'est vrai que c'est une déception parce que c'est un derby. On aime ça, on aime gagner. Ici, on est en Guadeloupe. On a voulu gagner pour le peuple, pour nous, parce que c'était un match aussi avec des points importants à prendre. Maintenant, aujourd'hui, on n'a pas réussi. Maintenant, c'est retravailler, regarder les erreurs qu'on fait aujourd'hui pour jouer le match retour et essayer d'aller chercher la victoire.
Justement, il faudra mettre quoi comme ingrédient dans 4 jours là-bas?
Je pense qu'on verra tout ça à partir de demain. Pour l'instant, c'est mieux se reposer parce que la défaite, elle est un peu amère. C'est se retrouver demain, en parler, discuter, à tête reposée pour travailler.
Parfait. Monsieur Collat. Marc, on imagine que forcément en tant que coach, c'est une grosse satisfaction de venir gagner chez le rival guadeloupéen.
Notre objectif, c'était de ne pas perdre pour garder, je dirais, un intérêt au dernier match. Donc la victoire, c'est la cerise sur le gâteau. C'était un match vraiment très équilibré, chacun a eu sa mi-temps. La Guadeloupe a eu des occasions en première mi-temps, ils n'ont pas conclu. Nous, on a eu un peu plus de réussite en deuxième mi-temps. Donc voilà, ça s'est joué à peu de choses, mais bon, ça a tourné de notre côté.
Dans 4 jours, c'est quoi? C'est une finale pourquoi? Pour le maintien? Pour aller chercher quelque chose d'autre?
Bon, écoutez, nous, on va chercher déjà à ne pas perdre ce match pour laisser la Guadeloupe derrière nous. Et puis, s'il peut y avoir mieux, tant mieux. Mais déjà, on va essayer de savourer ce succès et puis essayer de rester, je dirais, maître à domicile.
Sean St. Jacques back with you one more time to finish out the broadcast here. And, well, we finish up with full-time highlights. And again, both teams, Guadeloupe and Martinique, had opportunities for the vast majority of the game. One defining moment ended up deciding the match. And really, in the first 45 minutes, Guadeloupe had the better of the game, had the better of the opportunities. Thierry Ambrose and Matthias Phaeton both had big chances to score. Of course, you look back at the game now, and Yanis Clementia, he had huge save after huge save from Martinique that all added up to a big, big result for the visitors today. Phaeton, again, he was really one of the better players we saw for about an hour of this match. Another chance here where he just kind of was able to fight off the ensuing defenders and got the shot away, but again, Clementia was able to make the save. And Carl Fabian really had the only notable chance for Martinique in the first 45, and it really wasn't all that close to the target. He just kind of curled and scooped it over the top and out of play. And then Thierry Ambrose had one late chance at the end of the first half to score. Clementia, again, equal to it, able to dive and make a pretty comfortable save in the end. And then the second 45, Martinique made adjustments at the half. I think that was pretty apparent. And Marc Collat's side got more and more into the game and created more and more opportunities. Here was one of them. Good save by Cognard there. And then a critical header off the line from Jerome Roussillon to throw at Cyril Manduki. It was touched out of play. Took a lot off that shot in the end. Roussillon will be taken off later on in the match. Another chance for Martinique here. Another late intervention. Andrew Gravelon getting a touch onto it to block the shot from Jeremy Poisson-Clement. And then, yes, Guadeloupe had a couple more big opportunities, but once again, Clementia, after some lovely build-up from the hosts, equal to making the stop and keeping it at 0-0, keeping his side in the game. And then here, another opportunity, but again, Nathaniel Santini this time, touching it away in the nick of time. And then Guadeloupe had another half chance there. There's Phaeton waiting for it in the middle. Clementia able to come up with the stop. Then Martinique had more and more big chances. Marajo getting a shot away here, forcing the save out of Cognard. And then again, Martinique continuing to push for what could have been their big moment. And then it arrives, the captain, Brighton LeBeau, just putting enough on it to get it off the gloves of Cognard and in. Maybe the goalkeeper could have done a little bit better there, but he couldn't come up with the stop. And the captain celebrates a massive Martinique goal that turned out to be the match winner and puts Martinique up into third position. Guadeloupe had one more half chance at the end, and Tyrek Arconte couldn't hit the target. And that's that. 1-0 is the final score. Martinique come out with a gigantic result here in Guadeloupe, and they go up to third place in the table. Guadeloupe drop into fifth. Martinique was able to get some momentum at halftime, and they are able to win it by 1-0. here in Guadeloupe.